Hi everyone, Messy Coda back again with another live dev interview taken from my Twitch channel, or the w.twitch.tv/the Messy Coda. This time I'm with Mr. F himself. That's right, the creator, the genius, the man behind Bakery GPU Lightmapper for Unity. It is the thing that can make your Unity shine, come out of the dark ages and into the light, into that GPU light. That's right. So sit back, enjoy, listen to us waffle for about 10 minutes before we start delving into Bakery itself. Always feel free to fast forward, if you want to just skip ahead 10 minutes. That's us just talking, having a laugh, giggling about, and then we start playing about with the GPU Lightmapper inside Unity. So sit back, enjoy again, and I'll see you all in a second. Hello, Mr. F.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream.
Cool. So I'm hearing you from Skype and the stream at the same time.
Mate, you need to mute. You need to turn off your. It's like when you phoned up the radio stations as a kid, and they tell you off for having the radio on in the background. It's the same thing.
Okay.
You have to turn off. You have to mute your stream. Or pause your stream so you can still see the chat. Perfect volume, says Sengoku. That's because we planned this ahead of schedule. We actually did a test. I always do a test, but the test normally works perfectly, and when it comes to going live, it fails miserably. So let's do what we do and say, everyone in chat, give a warm, cuddly, messy coda welcome to the legend that has turned Unity lighting into something that actually can be used on a modern game engine. Is taking us out of the dark ages. Mr. F himself, the creator of Bakery GPU Lightmapper for Unity. Welcome, buddy.
Hi everyone.
Now, I think you're my second or my third Russian developer I've had on stream. And every time I normally get drunk and I start to talk and sing Russian on stream, and I do it very badly. Thankfully, this time I got that out of my system when I called you on Skype earlier and I tried to sing to you, and I won't have to do it now. But can I ask you, for the sake of everyone in chat, how good was my Russian?
Well, at least you know some obscene words. Yeah, so I guess people would understand you.
Yeah, okay. That's the best review ever for my Russian skill. If you have seen words and people would understand you. Wonderful. Hi, Mr. F says, chat, fish are friends, not food. Okay. I'm really confused about that, Mark. Swears for the win. Yes, right, Dapper Dad. Swears for the win. Right, so now we've got the stream working, and I've welcomed the wonderful Mr. F. I keep on thinking of the horse, Mr. Ed, when I say Mr. F, but I will think of something wonderful. So, Bakery. Bakery is GPU light mapping for Unity. And the funny thing is, Unity doesn't have that, does it? As standard. It doesn't believe in using your GPU to do wonderful things. It believes in using like potatoes to power your game engines. It's like Unity was made in the 1940s compared to all the other game engines out there when it comes to doing lighting.
Well, they are actually preparing a new GPU Lightmapper, but it's going to be something very early beta stuff, so I'm not sure if it will be stable.
That won't be stable. It's Unity we're talking about here. They've all the best intentions in the world, but it'll take 20 years before something comes out. Actually, to be fair, they do push out releases far quicker than it feels like Unreal does. But the weird thing is, if Unity themselves were making computer games, I feel like they would be using or actually developing some more useful core components in their engine rather than relying on other people to do it. So whenever Unreal make a new game and they make something fancy, it's like they put it inside the Unreal kit for everyone else to be able to use. We don't have that. We don't have that benefit with Unity.
Yeah, they make some demos from time to time, but it's not real production.
Nah, it's not the same, is it? So, you've been using Unity for a while, I guess. How long? When did you get started playing about?
Well, I think it was in 2013 when Unity was only like starting. So it was hard to ignore it. There were a lot of engines before, a lot of small engines and weight engines and very expensive engines, and somewhere from all this mess, Unity like came up and started to become a standard among indie developers at least. So I gave it a try and tried to make some prototypes. And what I really liked about it is iteration time, so you can very easily, quickly, like just build something up that works and you can play it. So yeah, I think it's the best property about Unity, at least.
Yeah, it's wonderful for just churning out quick prototypes. If you've got an idea, you just want to test something out. A concept, you could be laying in your bed, scribbling on a notepad, jump out of bed, open up Unity, and away you go. That's how I live my life, anyway. So you're a proper developer, though, aren't you? You're a real developer.
It depends on what you what you call a real developer.
You do it for a living. Let's put it that way. You're
Well, yeah.
unlike me. I mean, I just sit there every now and again, and I try to pretend like I know how to code. But you actually you've worked on any in games, in the real produced games out there in a studio.
Well, I didn't work on actual like. Well, I actually made one multiplayer game on my own. It's called Robostorm. And before that, I was an engine programmer in Play Canvas, which is like a game engine company. So I was co-working with other guys and making the engine itself. And we also made a lot of demos like Unity does. And yeah, before that I was just graphics programmer, freelancing, and yeah, I also worked on a flight simulator for like pilot training, like not a game, but more like for pilots.
Damn, that's nice.
Yeah. So it was using a custom engine, completely custom technology.
Wow. Did it have like the rotating seats and like making it go up and down and?
Yeah, they actually had a hardware like
Nice.
like a fake helicopter you sit in.
That is awesome. That is fantastic. Did you like get your own version and stick it in your bedroom and take it for a spin?
Hmm?
Could you get your own one and have it in your bedroom and have your own
No.
little helicopter?
It's huge.
Oh wow, that's awesome. I wouldn't be able to like stop myself putting Easter eggs in there for like machine guns and and stuff. So they could be having a training session for commercial pilots, and they accidentally push a button and machine guns flip out the side of the simulation. Hey, what the hell's going on? Yeah, that's why I would get fired quite quickly. So what made you want to become a Unity asset store developer? Because there's a difference of working on your own things and then deciding to make something for the asset store.
Yeah, so since I started working with Unity, I did a lot of tools for myself, for lighting, for rendering, for AI, for a lot of things, but they were all kind of very, very messy and unfinished and hard to use. And every time I made a tool like this, I thought, like, maybe if I would push a bit further and just finish it properly, then maybe it would be useful for other people as well. So
Nothing wrong with
yeah,
Messi. Messi's good, mate. Don't forget that.
right. So with the Lightmapper, I thought it's a good opportunity to actually finish one tool and make it really great.
It's
So
been a big success so far, though, hasn't it? You've had a lot of interest. I mean, a lot of people have been contacting me, asking about it. I know that much.
yeah, actually, I didn't expect so much like demand, but yeah, it sells well.
One of the things that we hate about Unity is taking 5 hours for things to bake, especially when I load up these scenes that we've got. I need to do a tutorial or a review, and then you load it up and it looks awful, and everyone says you forgot to bake, or you've loaded up halfway through its baking, and then you complain why it looks bad. And then you go, okay, fine, I'll let it bake, and you come back 2 hours later and it's still baking. I mean, it's heartbreaking. So with the power of bakery, that's a thing of the past. You told me that I should be baking my stuff before the interview just because it's using my GPU. I'm actually not going to do that. I've did that for some of them, but I'm going to load up bakery on the example scenes, and I'm going to bake while we're talking to see how long it takes. Do you think my OBS would explode?
Well, we did try it before, I guess.
Yeah, let's do this. Right, I'm going to load up example lights. Let me share my... Here we go. So everyone in chat, you can see my wonderful Unity, and I've butchered about my project a little bit, so I do apologize. Lumation's asking, how do I become a good asset developer? How do you become a good asset developer? Patience, skill, and a lot of alcohol, I think. How much time do you spend supporting your asset?
With alcohol? Well, actually, I work all the time, on weekends, on other days, from morning to night. It's constant effort.
Wow.
To support it. I'm not sure why you have the sphere white.
Ooh. Let me do my real-time screen sharing with you, so that you get. Let me share my screen.
Well, I see it anyway on Twitch.
All right, let's leave it at that. Just to save some bandwidth from some, just in case things explode. All right, so let me go to. Everyone at home can't see it. If I go to at the top in the menu, there is a menu called Bakery. Hang on, 1 second. 1 sec, everyone. I will do the full screen monitor share. Here we go. Remind me to turn this off. So now you can see at the top there's Bakery, and you've got all of these different options. Clear bake data. Should I click clear bake data just to start from fresh?
Well, it just removes all light maps from the scene, but you don't have to press it. It's basically if you want to revert anything Bakery did before, but most of the time you don't need it.
All right. But if I did it and I rendered again, would it take longer?
No, same thing.
Oh, okay, there's no point doing it then. So if I go to render, here we go, and I can stick Bakery on this right here. One little annoying thing is that it doesn't automatically stretch to fill the amount of space. I'm just going to go out there and say that. So now I've got it here. This is the advanced mode. I love it, Bakery, GPU Lightmapper by Mr. F. It's like the mysterious Mr. F. So we've got settings, and it's on advanced, and there's also the simple mode. Simple mode's fantastic because on simple mode you don't feel overwhelmed. And if I go to advanced, then I've got a load more stuff. And on the right hand side here, we've got the normal Unity light settings and everything. So you've got render mode, full lighting, indirect, and shadow mask, and that is what we've got here. Shadow mask, the same description counts for the same as this one, isn't it? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So let's go to simple, because I like to keep things simple. So here's my, not a massive scene. It's not a massive scene, but there's a load of stuff all over the place. And this light bulb has got a Unity light on it, but it's also got this bakery point light script. So what does this do?
Well, just light that only affects light maps. So Bakery has its own set of light components that have nothing to do with real-time lighting, nothing to do with Unity rendering, and they only like interpret it by Bakery.
I'm going to click render. Let's see how long this takes. Normally, this will be going along here and it will take about 200 hours. Oh. Now, I did warn Mr. F earlier when I had a brief chat with him to do a sound test that whenever anyone comes on stream, we find about 1,000 bugs and things crash and things get set on fire. With that in mind, I'm very excited to see what's going to explode as we do this test. Normally I'm cursed. Isn't that right, chat? It's called the Live Dev QA stream. And every now and again we ask a question. So here we go. It's coming along. Even like in itself, we're already at 42% on this progress. What's the longest you've seen Bakery take to bake one of your test scenes?
I think the longest was something around 30 minutes for like a big interior scene from the store, the one by Acvis Pro guy. Yeah.
And what was the equivalent of doing that with just standard Unity? Did you try to do a comparison of...
So yeah, the guy who sent me the scene, he said it was something like 40 hours, something like that.
What?
Yeah, so it was insanely long, and around 30 minutes with baking.
So it took him nearly 2 days of constant baking of Unity, and Bakery did it in half an hour.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm not remembering correctly about 40 hours. Maybe it was 20 hours, but something like...
Okay, once you get past 10 hours, it all kind of blurs into one. Okay, if you can turn even 10 hours into half an hour, that's an amazing feat. That is outstanding. So here we are. We are baked up now. And I did my render. So then you've got here render light probes, render reflection probes, and update sky probe. Wood says, I just wanted to say Bakery is amazing. Thanks for making it.
Thanks, Wooden. Yeah, thank you.
What do we? So I'll click render light probe. So I don't. Shall I click it?
Well, point. you don't need because this scene doesn't have any light probes,
yeah, I was looking
so
for it.
It won't change anything.
We don't have any reflection probes either.
Yeah, just light maps here.
And shall I update my skybox? Well, let's go over here. If I click this, what's going to happen?
Nothing, because this button only affects objects that are lit with the skybox cube map, the one in the lighting panel. So if you have something lit by light maps or light props or something else, then it's not lit by the skybox, so this button won't do anything. But if you create a dynamic object in the scene, it will be likely lit by the skybox.
We've got one of the shadow mask examples going to have that in there, so we'll have a play with that in the shadow mask. What do you reckon?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is, here I am. If I...
Also,
tell me.
while you're steering this scene, you may try to zoom in onto this little ball. And just to showcase something, no, the ball in the center of the screen, yeah. So the thing about this ball is that it has a vertex light map. It doesn't use, no, the other one, the previous one, the previous ball.
Oh, how many balls have you got?
This one, yeah.
Let me share my Skype with you so you got me in real time.
So I'm just saying that this ball has vertex light map. It means it doesn't need to be unwrapped. It doesn't need UVs. So it basically has all lighting information inside its vertices. So yeah, the unique thing about Baker is that you can bake lighting into vertices for some objects that are hard to unwrap.
We've got, hang on, what's Lumation? I will go now myself. I'm sorry I cannot see your light. I got to do my own project. See you, Lumation. Have fun. Thank you for stopping in. Good luck with your project. So, what's this? You got a ball over here in the back with a red blob on it.
It just showcasing emissive texture support. So you can have textures emitting light without having any lights on them. So it's a normal thing. Unity can do it with other light mappers. But this scene is basically all the stuff you can do.
Oh look, we've got nice multicolored ones over here as well. Hello, multicolored lights. Very shiny.
Yeah, so the difference between the slides is that the left one is using an emissive material and the right one is a dedicated light mesh type. Or the other way, yeah, the other way around, I think. The left one is using a special like area light type, and the right one is just a normal mesh render with emissive material.
You've got so the texture test colors on there?
Yeah, so they produce identical lighting, but it can be implemented differently, so with a light or with a mesh.
What's the difference in performance between the two different methods?
So in general, emissive materials are cheaper, and you can have a lot of them. They are calculated automatically when you generate global illumination. And lights take more time. But the problem with emissive materials is that their like sample count depends on GI sample count. So if you have a very bright and small light, it can look noisy, and you can only fix it by increasing the global illumination sample count. But if you have a separate area light, you can increase sample count for just the light without slowing down the whole scene calculation.
No. So it makes a difference when you've got a very busy scene going on.
Yeah, so basically the idea is that if you have a lot of emissive surfaces, like a spaceship with a ton of lamps, it's a good idea to use emissive materials. And if you have some very important lights, like a very bright lamp on the floor, on the ceiling, something like that, then a light mesh is the best, because it will give much higher quality lighting without slowing down the GI.
Let's load up your shadow mask. I'm very excited to play with the shadow mask demo. And then I haven't even touched your sponsor day and your sponsor evening. I'm very excited about seeing those too. Shall I save? No.
Generally, yes. I suggest you saving all the scenes, because it will save the baked lighting information. So if you don't save it, then after you open it again, lighting may be applied in the wrong way.
So here is the shadow mask demo. Let me save this then. And what are we going to showcase in this demo scene?
So I think you should try to focus on the box on the right.
This little man here?
Yeah. So
he's not set to static, and
no, it
everything
should be
else.
static.
Did I break everything before? Here we go.
Oh, did you disable it from static?
That's static. That's static. That is.
Well, it was static originally, I think. So maybe render it again
Let's
with this
render it
box
again.
static.
Let's do it again. Shall I go back to simple? I'll go back to simple mode. Simple mode's less scary for me. And you can see here that render mode is set to shadow mask. I'm going to click render. Oh, hang on. Got to put the monitor back on so everyone can see at home how long it's going to take. And it's not taking long at all. It's not taking 40 hours, that's for sure. It is. It's a strange feeling. Anyone who's been baking, everyone who's ever used Unity has baked. I hope so. To see your baking go so quick, it doesn't feel natural. It feels.
Well, for
like,
a scene,
yeah.
for a scene of a couple of boxes, I think Unity Lightmapper would do the same job. But on a bigger scene, like sponsor, for example, or like actual game scene, something big, the difference will be more noticeable.
Yeah, when I load up a demo scene for a large asset pack, like a triple brick asset pack, like I normally would, and then have to sit there baking. It takes too long. It just is a pain in the bum. But this, just seeing, because when you're playing about, taking less than 5 minutes to bake something. Barak says, I'm late to the party. What have you missed? You've missed us. We basically had a scene that took normally 2 days to bake, and we baked it in 30 seconds. No, nearly. Basically, we are chatting with Mr. F, the creator of Bakery GPU Lightmapper for Unity, and we've played about with the first demo scene, which is example lights, and now we're playing about with the shadow mask demo scene, and we're going to do a little bit of mixture between static and dynamic objects.
Okay, so maybe you can switch the distance shadow mask checkbox to make it more clear in the bakery window. The distance.
There we go.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah, so you can easily just show it by moving the floor, for example. Just disable and move the floor.
Whoa! Ooh! Ah, my shadows are moving.
Yeah, so as you can see, the box shadow is baked in the light map, so it's just a texture, it's cheap, you can run it on mobile or whatever, and capsule shadow is completely dynamic and it's real time, and this way you can combine like dynamic shadow casting characters with static shadows and without losing any bump mapping or specular or all that stuff. So the only problem with this mod is that dynamic objects don't receive shadows from static objects, so they need light props for that.
And that just raises it a little bit more expensive.
No, light props are quite cheap, so it's not really a performance problem.
So if I spam myself with light probes, I'm not going to cause myself a problem.
Yeah.
Wooden has a question. That checkbox distance shadow mask, is that doing something in Bakery 2, or is it just the switch for Unity's Lightmapper?
So it just switching the same option you have in quality settings, so just to have all options in one place, so you don't have to go to preferences, quality, and whatever.
Just makes your life easier. You don't have to start mucking about with the menus and going over here. I can just tick a little tick box. So if I now go back to what I was mucking about with, and I make my cube to be not static.
Also, one thing you can show is just try to move away from the scene, and you will see how dynamic shadows disappear, because there is like a shadow range limitation. Perhaps it's really high in your.
Oh wow!
It's just very high in your project. But if you go to quality set,
there he is. This is how far away I need to get. Up here.
You can try going into quality settings and like limiting shadow distance a bit, so it will be more obvious. Especially on low-end platforms, you would probably have shadow range not too high, like I don't know, 10 or something. Yeah, maybe 15. Yeah, so you can see that if you move away, dynamic shadows just go outside of the shadow range, but static shadows will always stay in place because there's the texture. So, yeah.
Do you know what would be nice? If I had that option in here as well, so I wouldn't have to keep mucking about over here.
Shadow range?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But it just, I don't know. If you ever used Unity and shadows, and I expected that people know it.
Yeah, but people are lazy like me. Let's click render again. I want to play about with this box. Now this box is dynamic. It's not. I've turned off the static. What did I break so far? Nothing yet. I haven't been able to break it yet. What graphics card am I using? I'm using a cheap 1070 that I got off Amazon. It was the cheapest 1070 that I could buy. However, a good question to ask, how cheap or how old or how weak a graphics card can I use and get away with bakery?
Well, everything from GeForce 600 and up to newest cards should be fine. So yeah, just NVIDIA. But yeah, the 600 series is the minimum requirement because they have something there that I need.
Now, most people I talk to who do Unity development, especially stuff in the editor, they complain about AMD. So AMD have got it's like a known issue that a lot of people are finding it difficult to work with AMD graphics cards. Same kind of issue we've got with bakery. It's best to use a Intel or an NVIDIA rather.
Well, just a limitation because I'm using some libraries that are created by NVIDIA itself, so they only work on NVIDIA. It's not like worse or better, they don't work on other cards. It's something I would like to address at some point in the future, but it's not easy. So yeah, now you have the box dynamic and the shadow is dynamic.
Look at that. That's lovely. Little things excite me, Mr. F. Little things excite me, like moving the floor and watching my shadows move. Who's got their order in for an RTX 2080i? Alrighty then. Okay. So what else can we play about with this scene before we move on to the next one?
Well, not sure. You can create more lights or objects or something like that.
Oh, well, let's create a light. So if I go to... have I still got mode on so everyone can see at home? Yes, good. If I go to create, I'm using the bakery option to create lights. So I can create directional light, skylight, point light, area light, example, spotlight. So when I create one of these, I'm assuming it's just creating a light with the script already attached to it and configured for the right type of light?
Yeah, so it will not have the Unity light component, and you will probably need to add it to like affect any real-time lighting.
Alright, so which one should we play about with for this?
Maybe just point light, spotlight, something similar.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I want to do a spotlight and shine it on... Oh, that one's already got one. I was going to say, let's shine it on this bloke. He's taken away my thunder. Right, let's do another one. Spotlight. Render, spotlight, and I'm going to spin him around. Here's my spotlight. Now, who's this bloke? Who's he?
So you are not actually like making the slide face any static objects that would cast any shadows. So in this case, you can just use a dynamic light, except J.
Hang on, this is a static, isn't it?
The capsule is dynamic.
Well, this box isn't.
Yeah,
is
the
it?
box is static. Yeah.
Are all your boxes static and all your capsules dynamic in your scene?
Yeah, simple.
There you go. It's easy to remember.
And maybe create Unity light on the same object, so it will work with mixed lighting. And then have and try this.
Oh, shall I turn him off or on?
Leave it on and just press this match real-time to light mapped button
Where's...
on the baker object.
Oh, here we go. Match... I didn't even see that. My eyes are going completely. So match real time to light mapped. And then I've got here match light map to real time. Real time light doesn't match light map. Real time light is not spot. Here we go. So then I click this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like magic, they've made them the same. That makes everything easier. But now I've got a fix button. Project is not set up to use linear light intensity.
Yeah. It's a very long story, but yeah, better you press the fix button.
And what does my fix button now do to me?
Well, basically, the problem with the way Unity treats light and intensity is that basically they get formula for gamma correcting a light color wrong, and then they fixed it, but put the physically correct version under some kind of opaque flag that you can't even access through project settings. And so the only way you can change it is via script. So I have this button. I have a better explanation in the manual. It's hard to explain.
How long was that frustrating you for?
Hmm?
How long did that frustrate you for until you found the solution?
Well, I think I waste half a day before I realized they were doing it wrong.
That must have been a fun half day.
Yeah.
All right, let's click
Okay.
render.
I'm not sure if you had to mark it static, but I think it will work anyway.
There we go. What happens if I click cancel as I'm rendering? Will it cause something to explode?
It shouldn't. So better cancel it because you just forgot one thing. You forgot to mark. You forgot to mark the light with the shadow marks, shadow mask checkbox. So if it doesn't have the checkbox, this light will affect global illumination, but it will not affect the shadow mask.
Okay, that's good to know. Do I have to do anything else?
No.
All right, wonderful. Let's click the button. VR Game Zone's back in the house. Hello, buddy. Welcome to the stream. We are playing with Bakery, the GPU Lightmapper for Unity. I am clicking render buttons, and my lighting is being baked quicker than it takes me to pick up my glass of water and take a sip out of it. If I was going to do that really slowly. All right, it's baking quicker than it will take me to go downstairs, get a beer, and come back upstairs. Let's put it that way. Story of my life. Story of your life is things taking ages to get a beer, or taking a long time to sip a drink, Def or Dad? Because that's a sad story of your life, mate. I like to point out to everyone that we're one follow away from 500 on Twitch. One follow away. So no matter how many subs we've got on YouTube, we never seem to get the same number coming through on Twitch. But I just can't take an odd number. 499 just feels unnatural to me. Fresh Meat has to go to the bathroom. All that talk of drinking water has made Fresh Meat need to go to the loo. I do apologise, Fresh Meat. I'm sorry for making your bladder weak.
There's a question in the comment section about how long I was developing the asset.
Oh, how long? Yeah, how long were you developing this asset? Don't tell me. Don't tell me it
So
took like a week or something. I'll end up killing myself.
Wait, my headphones. Oh, yeah. So yeah, just I have a very shaky wire that sometimes like unplugs itself. Anyway, so I started working on it in 2015 actually, so it was quite long ago, but I wasn't doing it full time, just like for fun in the evening, something like that. And I got it working in around I don't know 3 months, and it kind of looked like you could use it. But before I actually made it like a complete version without any bugs, and so other people can use it, it took me, well, I don't know, maybe 7 months or something like that. So if I would add all the time I spent on this, it would be around a year. So it's actually a lot of work.
Yeah, but that was you doing it not full time.
Before this April. So
Yeah.
since or even May. Yeah, I think even March. I mean, so yeah, I think since this March I was completely full time working on bakery.
So hang on a minute. You only just started playing or getting to know Unity. Was it 2013? You said? Was it?
Yeah, I think something around that time.
Right. And you're playing about in your free time, and it took you about a little under a year to get. Actually, it took you 3 months to get a working prototype of GPU Lightmapper with Unity. So but just under a year, a guy working in his part time, who doesn't work for Unity, doesn't know all of the secrets, takes him half a day to realise that Unity actually are doing things wrong on some stuff and fix their mistakes, did it in a little under a year. Yet Unity themselves still haven't done it yet, and they're only now talking about or working on their prototype version for the GPU Lightmapper.
The Lightmapper itself doesn't have much to do with the Unity. It's basically a standalone product, so you can apply it to any other engine. I actually helped one guy to like adapt it to his own engine.
Nice.
But just I don't know any other way to sell the asset, at least, and asset store seemed like a nice place. So I really focused on like making a good Unity adaptation.
Why haven't Unity come knocking on your door and asking to buy it off you? And it will save them all that effort of doing their own one.
I don't know, maybe because they were working on their own GPU Lightmapper for quite some time already, and it would be a shame to just throw it away.
Well,
and also they have this progressive feature, so that you can kind of absorb the light map while it's baking, and I admit it's pretty cool, and bakery can't do that. But my idea is to focus on like production quality light maps, not preview. So yeah, now you have this little box shadow on the wall, and it should be baked completely, and yeah, if you move away it should stay in place.
there it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's the real-time one popping back in, and there's the baked one still there for everyone to enjoy, bask in its glory. Wonderful. What is the difference with and a link? Just can't post links in chat, buddy. You can't post links in chat. You get purged. You get purged. What is this? Lighting box 2. Oh, I thought lighting box was just a load of camera filters, post-processing effects and stuff, wasn't it? I don't know. I've never played with that. Have you ever played with Lighting Box?
Well, I only saw the asset description on the store, and I still didn't exactly get it what it is. Like, yeah, maybe it's a bunch of post-processing effects. Maybe it's something else. I think it would be nice if developer would be more clear in what exactly is the asset.
Yeah, it's always nice when people actually describe what it is that they sell. Asset store description mentions that LODs aren't supported yet. What happens when you bake a light map with loaded objects?
They are supported since yesterday.
Oh, it's supported yesterday. Nice. Is that updated on the
Yeah.
asset store? Or is that a build that you've got locally that you need to wait till
Not
it gets
yet.
released?
I'm making some final tests, but if someone really wants LODs, then just send me a private message on the Unity forum, and I will send you a patch. And actually,
Nice.
your version right now is supporting loads.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yay me. Haha, I've got the latest version.
Actually, you can even try it by like creating a LOD group with some nonsense stuff like sphere with LOD 0 and cube with LOD 1, for example, and it should work without a problem.
All right then. Should we molest this one here?
Yeah.
Gonna call you Crazy Cube. We've hit 500 followers thanks to Wooden, which means we'll have a freebie to give out very soon. Add on you the, and I've got to name these. I'll name you Real Cube, and I'm gonna make a. What are we making? A sphere?
Yeah, just to demonstrate that you can have LODs with very like different shapes, and it should work.
I'm gonna call him Crazy Sphere. Like that. Although I don't know why I've got Crazy Sphere and Real Sphere, and I'm just gonna chuck you in here. Chuck you in there so I don't forget about you. And we're gonna put here Crazy Sphere on the 0 and Real Cube on the 1. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Some objects are not children of this LOD group. Do you want to parent them? Yeah, go on then. And I want to do you and what did we say? Real Cube.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, go on then. Let's do it.
So it should work if you deselect, or maybe just this way. Yeah. So just try zooming into it to make sure. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Now
Let's
don't
do it.
forget to mark both objects as static.
Yeah, I was about to say I forgot to do that. Glad that you reminded everyone else of my mistakes. I appreciate that. Dive in. Good. Wonderful.
Okay. So maybe try maybe put the whole object into more lit place, so the shadow from the object is more visible.
Oh yeah, where we've got a.
Or actually, maybe just closer to the light.
Which one? Where's our?
Actually, the shadow is visible.
What do you reckon? Where should we stick it?
Maybe put it under the sunlight, for example.
Right, where's your?
It's there.
That thing?
Yeah. No, the sunlight is to the right, right from you. No, I mean just make the object not to be in the shadow.
That's my spotlight, isn't it? Yeah, it's my spotlight. That's my spotlight. I'm going to stick him next to this one here, in place of that one.
Okay.
And he can go away. Now forth. There you go. All right. So now, what one are we going to get out of this? Oh, bugger. Look at me. I was just moving around the... Did nobody notice that I was moving around the LOD and not the actual parent? How did nobody notice that? How did nobody notice me moving around the LOD and not the parent? I do that all the time. That's actually one of the things that I do most in my entire life. I spend my life moving around and then I look at it and go, where is everything? Why does nothing work? Let's go in. Here we go. That's more like it. And now you can go away. And now you can go back. Beautiful. Wonderful. That's better. Oh. Alright. And I've done it again. See? Done it again. Done it again. Back again. Over there. Fail again. Thank you, Sengoku. Fail again. No, by the way, because we've hit 500, we'll have a giveaway later. We got some vouchers of I got off the Humble Bundle, and people have donated. So we'll do a giveaway later. All right. So I'm going to click render. The question is, what am I expecting to see as a shadow?
You're expecting to see the shadow from LOD0 because it's like a default assumption, and we can only have one shadow on the floor.
This is good. Hang on, let's go to here, and I'll make this massive. Go away, cold. Go away 2. That's better. And this is going to freak me out because my LOD0 is pretty. Come on, camera, get back down here. It's pretty close in. So I'm looking this far out, and I'm going to see a different shadow up here. That's just going to freak my mind out. I'm going to click render. Il y a des French sur le chat. Angelicas, stop speaking made-up languages in chat, okay? What did I just say? Fresh Meat's saying bakery is amazing. Sanyo's asking, I am back. Did I miss 500 followers voucher celebration? You didn't miss the celebration, but Wooden is getting a nice cup of tea made. Are there any French people in chat? Are there any French in chat? Well, Fresh Meat's Canadian. And as everyone knows about Canada, they're actually secretly French. All of them. So yeah, Fresh Meat's French. Canada has not been forgiven for Celine Dion. Let me just put it that way. I'm half French, asks Barack. Which half? The top or the bottom? Wah, wah, wah. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist that one. So what's next on the Mr. F asset list that you're going to be making on the asset store? Are we going to see more bakery related assets? Are there going to be add-ons for bakery, or are you going to go something completely different?
Well, I started bakery just to help with my own game project, and because I wasn't satisfied with other ways to bake Lighten and Unity. So wait, let's see what you can you zoom in?
It is a round shadow.
Yeah, because it's a shadow from LOD0.
Yeah, exactly. That's real. That worked. That's.
I think you need a bit more resolution on the sphere because it's impossible to bake it without scenes. The problem with Unity primitives is that I can't really alter their UV layout, so they have some small like holes between UV charts, and I can't make them bigger because they are primitive, they are constant. So yeah, basically if you have this kind of seam on the sphere, the only way to fix it with the primitive is to increase the scale in Lightmap on the mesh renderer.
I've never noticed
So
that before because I don't really play with primitives. I'm not a primitive kind of guy.
yeah, if you had a mesh sphere, like imported from a 3D package, then it probably wouldn't have this seam because Bakery can modify automatic UV wrap to prevent this kind of things. But just for primitives, you need to increase the scale on Lightmap. You see this little editable field, so maybe set it to 5 or 10, something like that, and it should be fine. It probably just has like 32 by 32 Lightmap or something like that, and it can't just the holes between the UV charts are just too small.
So on this one, I can actually play about with your other buttons that you've got. You've got the skylight button I can play about with in this scene.
Mm-hmm. So what I was saying about the next assets, I have no plan really about other assets, but I have some ideas of what I would need for my game and what can possibly become an asset. So I really want to toy a bit with some neural network stuff.
Nice.
And for like content generation, just to make some low quality things become higher quality things. I won't tell more right now.
I was about to say, this feels like it's a bit painful to try and like scoop some of this information out of you. I was thinking, how much more could we tease out? You're like, nope, I'm not saying anymore. Immediately, nope, that's it. I've said too much already.
And I'm actually doing a lot of smaller tools at the moment. So, for example, if someone is following me on Twitter, for example, I was posting some like screenshots with a tree on a field of grass, and for the screenshots I had to quickly hack a small plugin to just kind of place grass and weeds and leaves and all that stuff using simple masks. So I don't really like Unity terrains and all this Unity kind of grass placement, so I just wrote my own, and it generates combined meshes of like instantiated small things. Now you don't have a sim.
Oh. This will be interesting to see because there's quite I was going to say the marketplace now is quite a few different people with the same problem that you're describing coming up with their own versions of solutions to that. Be very interesting to see how your solution comes about.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly about like making a full-fledged asset from the grass scattering tool, but I may at some point just release it as like for free without any extreme support like with a bakery. So yeah, sphere shadow should be baked and it should become a cube and everything should be fine.
I want to just walk around and bump into some colliders. Look at that. Freaking out your mind, man. That's an LOD, bud. That's an LOD. Angelicas. Look. Look at that. And like Fresh Meat says, it's hard to believe that we've baked this scene shed loads of times already. So this is nuts. Like you said, it's a very small scene. Once we start getting a little bit more freaky, let's see what we get up to. Okay, that's it for this part of my live dev interview. I hope you enjoyed it, had some fun. The next one is just around the corner. Don't forget, if you do like these videos and you want to see more, click on that big juicy red subscribe button that's down below. Tell all of your friends, your neighbours about the messy coder who streams live every Fridays and Saturdays on all the W's.twitch.tv/TheMessyCoder. You can catch me 9 PM UK time. So if you do like it, click it. Till next time. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now. And down below, there's that big juicy subscribe button, and right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.